Let me take you somewhere. Picture this. It's late, and you're sprawled on the couch, phone in hand, thumb endlessly scrolling through social media. You started an hour ago. At least that's what you think. Your body feels sluggish, a dull ache settling into your neck from leaning over. Your eyes burn a little from staring at the screen too long, but the dopamine drip keeps you locked in. The world outside your screen feels distant, muted, almost irrelevant. You should probably get some sleep, or better yet, be working on something important. But that doesn't matter right now, because you're here, drowning in a sea of memes, posts, and videos you won't even remember tomorrow. Freedom, right? But here's the thing. You're not free at all. You're trapped. And the deeper you dive, the harder it gets to pull yourself back up. That's hedonism. It's this mirage we chase, thinking we're in control. But in reality, we're rolling downhill faster than we realize. And pretty soon, there's no stopping it. Plato nailed it when he said a man who's a slave to pleasure is like a cylinder rolling down a hill. Imagine that. You're at the top, and for a moment, there's this rush, a sense of release as gravity pulls you forward. The air hits your face, the world is a blur, and for a split second, it feels like you're flying. But the farther you roll, the faster it goes, and suddenly, the ground is uneven. The once thrilling wind starts to sting, and that blur, it's now disorienting. You've lost control, your body is spinning, and your senses are overwhelmed. You're no longer riding the high is riding you. Think about social media, gaming, or binge watching. That initial sense of freedom, the excitement of just one more video, or just one more game, is addictive. You feel the buzz in your fingertips, the anticipation of the next hit. But slowly, that buzz turns into a numbness. Your brain feels foggy, your body heavy, and before you know it, the hours have bled together into a strange twilight zone where nothing was accomplished, and yet you're utterly drained. The thrill is gone, replaced by an emptiness that makes you question why you even started in the first place. But by then, you're too far down the hill to stop. Now, some people think Epicurus was all about that endless pursuit of pleasure, like he was the original party animal. But here's the twist. Epicurus didn't live for indulgence. He understood pleasure in a much deeper way. He wasn't about mindless consumption. He was about something far more sophisticated. Epicurus spoke about finding joy in simplicity, friendship, learning, self-control. The man who can be content with a glass of water, a quiet evening, and the company of people who matter is richer than any king living in excess. But here's where it hits hard. Think of the guy who needs constant stimulation, always craving more. He's like someone gorging on junk food. Sure, it tastes good at first. Sweet, salty, all those flavors dancing on your tongue. But after a while, the flavor dulls, your stomach turns, and you're left feeling sick, weighed down. That's what happens when you live in a constant pursuit of highs. Your senses get dull, your mind grows restless, and suddenly, nothing satisfies. It's a hunger that gnaws at you, but no matter how much you consume, it's never enough. Imagine it, always chasing, never resting. The guy constantly switching between apps, juggling conversations, chasing likes, or pulling all-nighters in front of a screen, just to feel something. But the more you chase it, the more it slips through your fingers, leaving you more anxious, more drained than you were before. You're caught in a cycle that never ends. Let's talk about strength for a minute. There's a famous scene from Plato's Symposium where Socrates is at this wild drinking party. Picture it. The air thick with smoke, the smell of wine heavy on everyone's breath, the sound of laughter and slurred speech all around. People are downing drink after drink, falling over themselves, caught in this haze of indulgence. But there's Socrates, sitting calmly, his eyes sharp, his mind clear, out drinking everyone and yet completely sober. While they're passed out, he's still deep in conversation, philosophizing about life. This isn't just some story about ancient Greeks throwing a rager. This is about control. Everyone else at that party lost themselves in the drink, in the momentary pleasure. They gave in. But Socrates? He could enjoy the party without letting it consume him. He wasn't weak for being there. He was strong because he didn't get lost in it. Look around at today's party scene. Guys who go out week after week, getting wrecked because it's what everyone does, and they think they're owning the night. But really, the night's owning them. They wake up with pounding headaches, fuzzy memories, and this pit in their stomach because deep down, they know this isn't it. There's no strength in drinking till you can't see straight. The real power is in being able to stand in the middle of it all and not lose yourself. Can you go out and still have control, still have clarity? Or are you just another guy passed out on the couch while life happens around you? Now, if you're thinking, yeah, but pleasure is what makes life worth living, right? Let's look at Alexander the Great for a second. The man conquered everything. The known world was his playground. But after taking it all, what did he do? He wept. That's right. He broke down because there were no more worlds to conquer. That's the trap of hedonism. You chase, you conquer, you indulge, and yet there's always this sinking feeling when you hit the top, because the thrill doesn't last. The victories feel empty. The celebrations feel hollow. It's like eating the best meal of your life, but after the last bite, there's nothing left but an aching hunger. No matter how much pleasure you grab at, it's never enough. And the more you reach for it, the more it slips away, leaving you emptier than when you started. Think about that next time you're going after the next high, the next experience. Sure, it feels good for a while, but afterward, that hollow feeling creeps in, and suddenly you're wondering, is this all there is? So here's the question. Can you be stronger than your desires? Marcus Aurelius wasn't about running away from pleasure. He was about facing it head-on and mastering it. He wasn't the kind of guy to tell you to live a boring life, no. He wanted you to enjoy life, but not be a slave to it. Imagine yourself in a moment of temptation. Maybe it's food, maybe it's a distraction, maybe it's something darker. Your senses are on fire. The smell, the taste, the feel of it all. It's pulling you in, telling you that you need this. But here's the challenge. Can you step back? Can you choose to wait, to delay, to say no, when everything in you is screaming yes? That's real strength, and when you tap into it, something happens. You gain a respect for yourself that nothing external can give you. That's what this is about. You want confidence? You want respect? It starts with mastering yourself. It starts with learning to take control of your desires, rather than letting them control you. Because the man who can say no in the face of temptation is the man who doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. That's what's waiting for you if you can walk away from the endless chase. Master your pleasures before they master you. Because real freedom, that's being in control of your own life.